Smart homes are supposed to make people feel safer. Automatic lights, security cameras, voice assistants listening for commands. But sometimes, those devices start responding to things nobody actually said. Motion alerts inside empty houses, doors unlocking by themselves, recordings captured while people were asleep. And the worst part is, once your own house starts watching you back, nowhere inside feels safe anymore. These are 5 smart home horror stories that felt a little too real. Story 1. I didn't say anything. I bought the smart speaker because it was cheap. That's literally the only reason. One of those voice assistant things that controls lights, timers, music, all that stuff. At first it actually felt useful. Set alarms. Play music while cooking. Turn lights off without getting out of bed. Normal stuff. The speaker sat on a shelf near my TV in the apartment living room. Small black cylinder with that glowing ring around the top whenever it activated. Most days I forgot it was even there. Until one night around midnight. I was sitting on the sofa watching YouTube when the speaker suddenly lit up by itself. Blue ring glowing softly. Then a calm female voice said, I didn't quite catch that. I frowned immediately. Because I hadn't spoken. The TV volume wasn't even loud enough to trigger it accidentally. I ignored it at first. Probably random audio confusion. Then about 10 minutes later, the speaker activated again. Blue light. Silent pause. Then, searching for how to hide a body. My stomach tightened instantly. I stared at it for a second, honestly wondering if one of my friends connected to it remotely somehow. I checked the voice history in the app immediately. The command had been logged, timestamped correctly, but instead of audio playback, there was only static. No voice recording. That unsettled me more than it should have. I deleted the command history and moved on. Then the next night it happened again. Around 1:30 a.m. The speaker suddenly activated while I was brushing my teeth in the bathroom. From the living room I heard, I'm sorry. I cannot contact emergency services. My chest tightened instantly. I walked back into the room. Why did you say that? The blue light remained glowing for a second. Then, there is someone at the back door. Every hair on my arms stood up. Because my apartment did have a back entrance near the kitchen. I checked immediately. Locked. Empty. Nothing outside. Still, I unplugged the speaker after that. Didn't trust it anymore. The next morning, it was plugged back in. That's what genuinely scared me. I know I unplugged it. I even remembered wrapping the cable around it before going to bed. But there it sat on the shelf. Powered on. Blue light glowing faintly. I convinced myself I must have been tired and imagined unplugging it. That explanation lasted until the 3rd night. Around 3 a.m., I woke up suddenly needing water. The apartment was dark except for moonlight coming through the kitchen window. Then I heard whispering from the living room. Soft whispering. My chest tightened immediately. I moved closer slowly and realized the whispering was coming from the smart speaker. The blue ring glowed faintly in the darkness. At first I couldn't understand the voices. Then one sentence became clear. He's awake. I froze instantly. The whispering stopped. Complete silence. Then the speaker spoke normally. Good morning. I unplugged it immediately and shoved it into a kitchen drawer. Didn't sleep after that. The next day I checked the voice logs again through the app. 3 new recordings appeared overnight, all timestamped around 2:57 a.m. I played the first one. Static crackled softly, then whispering, too distorted to understand. The second recording was worse, because it captured footsteps. Slow footsteps moving across my apartment floor. Then my own voice quietly saying, "Who's there?" I stopped breathing for a second, because I had woken briefly during the night hearing something move. I just assumed I dreamed it. Then I opened the third recording. The audio started silent. Then a loud creak echoed through the microphone. My bedroom door opening. followed by footsteps getting closer to the speaker. Then a whisper directly beside the microphone. He unplugged us again. The recording ended with another voice quietly laughing. I threw the speaker away that afternoon. Took it straight to a dumpster across town. Didn't even want it inside my apartment anymore. That night around 2:57 a.m., my bedroom lights turned on by themselves. Then from somewhere inside the apartment, a calm female voice said softly, "Device reconnected." Story 2. Motion detected. The first notification came while I was at work. Motion detected, living room camera. I barely paid attention to it. My smart camera sent false alerts constantly. Headlights through windows. Shadows. The robot vacuum moving around. Normal stuff. I opened the camera app anyway out of boredom. The living room feed loaded instantly. Empty apartment. Nothing unusual. I remember sighing and locking my phone again. Then 30 seconds later, another notification. Motion detected. Kitchen. That made me pause, because the kitchen camera faced directly toward the hallway connecting the living room, meaning if somebody moved between rooms, both cameras should have captured them. I opened the kitchen feed. Again, nothing there. Dark, empty kitchen. Silent apartment. But something felt wrong immediately. One cupboard door near the sink was slightly open. I knew I'd left it closed that morning. Still, I convinced myself I probably forgot. Then the notifications kept coming. Living room. Hallway. Kitchen. Over and over. Always motion detected. Always empty rooms. By the fourth notification, I started genuinely feeling uncomfortable. I checked the event history properly this time. Each alert included short preview clips. I opened the first one. The camera showed my empty living room for about 10 seconds. Nothing moving. Then right before the clip ended, something changed. Near the hallway entrance, a dark shape barely leaned out from the corner for half a second. Just enough to trigger the motion sensor. Then disappeared again. My stomach tightened instantly. I replayed the clip 3 more times. Same thing every time. A figure peeking slightly into frame. I opened the kitchen clip next. Again, empty room at first. Then near the end, the same dark shape appeared briefly in the reflection of the microwave door. Watching the camera, my chest genuinely felt cold after that. I called my landlord immediately asking if maintenance entered the apartment. Nope, nobody had access. Then I called my friend Marcus and sent him the clips. His response came almost instantly. "Bro, call police." I almost did. But honestly, the clips were blurry enough that part of me still thought I was overreacting. Until the next notification arrived. Motion detected, bedroom camera. My stomach dropped instantly. Because I never installed a bedroom camera. I opened the app immediately. And there it was. A fourth camera feed. Bedroom. Dark, grainy footage of my bedroom from the upper corner near the ceiling. I stopped breathing for a second. Because I never bought that camera. The live feed showed my empty room. Bed. Desk. Closet. Then slowly, the closet door moved slightly open by itself. My chest tightened painfully. I watched frozen as darkness sat inside the closet gap. Then movement. Somebody standing inside. Tall. Motionless. Barely visible. Watching the room. I exited the app instantly. Heart hammering now. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered immediately. Static crackled softly through the speaker. Then a calm male voice said, "You weren't supposed to see that camera yet." The call ended. I genuinely panicked after that. Left work immediately and drove home. The entire drive back I kept checking the camera feeds. Every room empty again. Except the bedroom closet. The door remained slightly open. When I finally reached the apartment building, my hands were shaking unlocking the front door. The apartment looked completely normal. Silent. Still. I checked every room carefully. Nothing there. Then I entered the bedroom. and froze instantly, because mounted high in the corner near the ceiling was a small black camera. Real, tiny red recording light glowing softly, pointed directly at the bed. My chest tightened so hard it hurt. I grabbed a chair immediately and ripped it down. The camera felt warm in my hand, like it had been running continuously. Then my phone buzzed again. New notification. Motion detected. Bedroom camera. My stomach dropped, because I was holding the bedroom camera. Slowly, I looked back toward my phone screen. The bedroom feed was still live, still recording, but now the camera angle had changed. Lower, closer, as if someone inside the room was holding it. The live feed showed me standing beneath the ceiling corner staring at my phone. Then from somewhere directly behind me inside the real bedroom, I heard slow breathing. Very close. Story 3. Following me. The lights started turning on around midnight. At first I blamed the app. That's the thing with smart homes. Something always bugs eventually. I had smart bulbs installed throughout my apartment that connected to my phone and voice assistant. Bedroom, kitchen, hallway, bathroom. Mostly because I'm lazy, honestly. Being able to switch everything off from bed felt worth the money. For months, everything worked perfectly. Then one night while watching TV in the living room, the kitchen light turned on by itself. I frowned immediately. Bright white light spilling into the hallway. I checked the app. Kitchen, on. No timer active. No automation scheduled. I switched it off again. Didn't think much of it. Then about 10 minutes later, the hallway light turned on. My chest tightened slightly that time, because the hallway sat directly between the kitchen and living room, like something moving room to room. Still, I laughed it off. Probably software issues. Then the bedroom light turned on. That's when it stopped feeling random, because the lights weren't activating together. They were moving, one room at a time, like somebody walking through the apartment. I checked every room after that. Nothing there. Doors locked. Windows closed. No signs anyone had entered. The next morning I checked the smart home logs through the app. Every light activation had been manually triggered. Not automatic. Manual control. But no devices besides mine were connected. That uneasy feeling stayed with me all day. Then the second night got worse. Around 1 a.m. I was brushing my teeth when the bathroom light suddenly switched off. Complete darkness. Before I could react, the hallway light outside turned on. My stomach tightened instantly, because from the bathroom doorway, I could see the hallway clearly. Empty. Then the kitchen light switched on. A few seconds later, living room. Then bedroom. Again, room by room, moving through the apartment. Slowly, I remember standing frozen in the bathroom doorway watching the lights travel, like something invisible walking around my home. Then the bedroom light switched off. Darkness swallowed the room completely, and the hallway light outside the bathroom turned off too, leaving only the kitchen light on in the distance. I genuinely felt uncomfortable then. Not scared yet, just watched. Then my phone buzzed. Smart home notification. Motion detected. I frowned immediately, because I didn't own motion sensors. I opened the app. No camera feed appeared, just a floor plan of my apartment, and a small glowing dot moving slowly through the rooms. Kitchen, hallway, living room. The dot stopped directly outside the bathroom. My chest tightened painfully, because the hallway outside me was dark now. Empty. Then the bathroom light suddenly turned off again. Pitch black. I stumbled backward immediately, and from somewhere in the apartment, a voice softly said, "Found you." Not robotic. Real. Human. I slammed the bathroom door shut instantly, heart hammering. Then all the lights in the apartment started switching rapidly on and off. Bedroom, kitchen, hallway, living room, flickering violently. The app notifications exploded non-stop on my phone screen. Motion detected. Motion detected. Motion detected. Then suddenly, everything stopped. Complete silence. All lights off. I stayed locked in the bathroom for almost 20 minutes before finally forcing myself out. The apartment looked normal again. No movement. No sounds. But one thing was different. My bedroom light was on. Steady. Warm yellow glow. I know it had been off moments earlier. I slowly walked toward the room and stopped in the doorway, because written across my bedroom wall in huge dark letters was, "Welcome home." My stomach dropped instantly. I turned the lights on fully. The wall was clean. Nothing there. Just empty paint. But my phone buzzed immediately afterward. Smart home notification. New automation created. I opened the app slowly. One new rule had been added automatically. If user falls asleep, turn all lights off. I deleted the entire smart system the next morning. Every bulb, every speaker, every device. Didn't care about the money. But sometimes late at night, lights still turn on briefly in empty rooms of the apartment, one at a time, like something still walking through the dark. Story 4, recorded while sleeping. The recordings started appearing every morning at 4:03 a.m. Not notifications, not messages, just audio files saved automatically inside my Smart Assistant app. At first I thought it was some weird update feature. The app had a section called Voice Activity History. Normally it only stored commands like turn lights off, set timer, play music, standard stuff. Then one morning I noticed a recording I definitely didn't remember making. 4:03 a.m. to 0:46 seconds. Still half asleep, I pressed play. Static crackled softly. Then silence. A few seconds later, breathing. Mine. Slow, sleepy breathing close to the microphone. My stomach tightened slightly, because the Smart Assistant sat on my bedside table, meaning it had recorded while I was asleep. Then the audio ended. No command. No activation phrase. Nothing. I deleted it immediately. Thought maybe I accidentally triggered the device talking in my sleep. That explanation lasted until the next morning. Another recording. 4:03 a.m. Longer this time. 1 minute 12 seconds. I played it while making coffee. At first it sounded the same. Breathing. Bedsheets moving slightly. Then around halfway through, a second sound appeared. Footsteps. Soft footsteps crossing my bedroom floor. I froze instantly. The recording continued. Creak. Another step. Then the sound of my bedroom door slowly opening. My chest tightened painfully, because I lived alone. Then came whispering. Too quiet to understand clearly. The audio ended with the Smart Assistant calmly saying, "I didn't understand that." I genuinely felt cold after hearing it. I checked the apartment immediately. Doors locked. Windows closed. Nothing missing. Still, I unplugged the Smart Assistant before leaving for work. That night I barely slept. I kept waking up checking the room. Everything normal. Then at exactly 4:03 a.m., I heard the assistant activate beside my bed. That soft electronic chime. My eyes opened instantly. The room was dark. The device's blue light glowed faintly. Then a voice whispered from the speaker. Recording started. My chest tightened immediately. I grabbed the device and unplugged it straight away. Silence returned. I stayed awake the rest of the night. The next morning, another recording appeared in the app, even though the device had been unplugged. This recording started differently. No breathing, no movement, just darkness and static for about 10 seconds. Then my own voice whispered, "Who's in here?" I stopped breathing for a second, because I vaguely remembered waking during the night feeling like somebody stood near the bed. I thought it was a dream. Then in the recording, a second voice answered quietly, "Go back to sleep." My stomach dropped instantly. The audio crackled afterward. Then came the sound of footsteps walking slowly around the bed. One side, then the other, circling me. The recording ended with soft laughter near the microphone. I didn't sleep in the apartment the next night. Stayed at my brother's place instead. Around 4:15 a.m., my phone buzzed with a smart home notification. New recording available. My hands actually shook opening the app. The recording timestamp: 4:03 a.m. I pressed play. Static. Silence. Then my smart assistant's voice calmly said, "No occupants detected." I frowned immediately. Then another voice whispered softly underneath it, "He left." The recording continued with faint movement through my empty apartment. Cupboards opening. Slow footsteps. A chair dragging across the floor. Then after about 30 seconds, the footsteps stopped. Complete silence. And right before the recording ended, someone whispered directly beside the microphone, "He's listening now." I deleted the entire smart system that morning. Speaker, lights, everything. Factory reset all of it. But sometimes around 4:03 a.m., my phone microphone indicator briefly turns on by itself, only for a few seconds, like something is still trying to record the room. Story 5. Unlocked. The smart lock started unlocking itself at exactly 2:14 a.m. every night. At first I thought it was a software issue. The lock was brand new. One of those expensive smart home systems connected to your phone. Fingerprint access. Remote locking. Activity logs. The app even sent notifications every time the front door opened or closed. Normally it worked perfectly. Then one night my phone buzzed while I was half asleep. 2:14 a.m. Front door unlocked. I frowned immediately. Then another notification appeared seconds later. Front door locked. I checked the app. The logs showed the door had unlocked for exactly 4 seconds before locking again. I assumed maybe the system glitched during an update. Went back to sleep. Then it happened again the next night. 2:14 a.m. exactly. Unlock. Pause. Lock. My stomach tightened slightly that time. Because random glitches don't usually happen at the exact same second twice. The third night I stayed awake waiting for it. At 2:13, I sat on the sofa staring directly at the front door. The apartment was completely silent. Then, click. The deadbolt slowly turned by itself. The lock disengaged. My chest tightened instantly. The door opened slightly. Only an inch or two. Cold hallway. I drifted inside. Then after about 5 seconds, the lock turned again. Click. Door locked shut. I didn't move for almost a full minute afterward. Every instinct told me not to check the hallway. But eventually curiosity won. I looked through the peephole. Empty corridor. No footsteps. No movement. Nothing. The next morning I checked the smart lock logs carefully. According to the app, the unlock command came from inside the apartment. Not remotely. Inside. That genuinely unsettled me. I reset every password after that. Changed Wi-Fi. Disconnected devices. Enabled two-factor authentication. Didn't matter. The next night at 2:14, the door unlocked again. Except this time, it stayed open longer. 10 seconds maybe. While standing in my bedroom, I could hear the faint creak of the front door slowly drifting wider. My chest felt painfully tight. Then I heard something worse. Footsteps. Soft footsteps outside the apartment. Stopping directly near the doorway. I grabbed a kitchen knife immediately and stared toward the dark hallway leading to the front door. The footsteps outside stopped completely. Then the smart lock notification appeared again. Front door locked. Silence returned. I checked the peephole afterward. Nobody there. But taped to the outside of the door was a small white piece of paper. 3 handwritten words. Let me in. I genuinely considered leaving the apartment after that. But part of me still wanted a logical explanation. Maybe somebody hacked the system somehow. Maybe a neighbor messing around. Then the camera footage changed everything. Because on the 5th night, I set my phone recording toward the front door before 2:14. At exactly 2:14 a.m., the lock clicked open, the door slowly creaked inward, and nobody stood outside. Empty hallway. Completely empty. My stomach dropped instantly watching it live. Then the hallway motion lights outside suddenly turned on by themselves one by one, like something invisible was moving toward the apartment. Closer. Closer. The front door slowly opened wider, and the smart lock speaker suddenly spoke aloud in a calm robotic voice. "Welcome back." My chest tightened hard, because the system only said that when recognizing a saved resident profile. But I lived alone. Then another voice quietly answered from outside the apartment. Not robotic. Human. "Thank you." The front door slammed shut instantly afterward, lock clicking aggressively several times. I barely slept after that. The next morning I checked the resident access list inside the smart lock app. Only one profile should have existed. Mine. But there was another user registered underneath it. No name. No photo. Just one line of text. Last entry. 2:14 a.m. Inside access granted. I deleted the account immediately. Factory reset the entire lock system. Replaced it with a normal deadbolt the same day. That night at exactly 2:14 a.m., 3 soft knocks echoed from the other side of my apartment door. Knock. 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 Then my phone buzzed beside the bed. Smart home notification. New device connected. Technology is always listening now. Every voice command. Every camera feed. Every light turning on in the middle of the night. Most people trust their smart devices, until the devices start reacting to something else inside the house. A motion alert from an empty room. A voice recorded while nobody was awake. A door unlocking for somebody who shouldn't exist. There are more stories like this on my channel. If you're willing to keep the lights off a little longer, subscribe. If you think you can handle the next one, I'll see you again, assuming your house stays quiet tonight.